Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up. It does help with the algorithm. I thought it appropriate to have, you can say, an end of the year dad talk. I think it's time because it is also the end of the year, but this has been quite a year, and I don't think any of us are ever going to forget it because it has been absolutely insane. Between everything that's happened with 19, you know what I mean, that's happened with bankruptcies, evictions, mortgage payments, food lines, and everything, stimulus checks, lack of stimulus checks, government spending. A lot of things have, I hope, in some sort of way, taught people a lesson as far as when it comes to being prepared. One of the reasons for this channel, while it may be at times crypto focused or how to build a business or how to do this, passive income streams, is about letting people understand that I don't care how old you are, I don't care where you're from, you can save money, you can invest, you can make sure that you have money in your pocket. If you look at the current, and these don't even reflect reality, the current poverty rates within the United States alone, it's up to 16.7%, and I think that number is actually a lot higher, probably around 20%, which roughly means one out of every six, one out of every seven people in America right now alone is in poverty. And I focus on America because America is meant to be the richest nation on the planet. No one expected this year to happen. This is not a it's your fault kind of video, but this is a learn the lessons from the nonsense that this year has thrown at you. I have witnessed my entire life, and this is why I think I am the way that I am. People usually ask, and I've answered in other videos, if you haven't seen those videos, people usually ask, what do I spend? How much do I spend on fun things? How do I so and so? I invest everything. Besides my things that I have per month, the electricity, lights, the HOA and land fees on the places that I own, and my food budget, everything else goes to taxes and to investing. Everything. I don't find a personal need right now to baby myself or to tell myself that I need a new this or I need a new so-and-so, simply because I don't. I've seen that the investments that I've made have grown exponentially over the last 10 years. This is why I made the channel, to let everyone know that it's not just me who can do it, it's everyone else out there. The amount of people who before this year and even during this year who spend like there's no tomorrow is incredibly concerning for a number of reasons. There were already many people living paycheck to paycheck, and that's not some people's fault. I do understand if you have kids, if you are in a position where you cannot simply get above that because you are working as hard as you can to be able to make enough money to be able to feed yourself, pay your rent, and feed your kids and stuff like that, that's no one's fault. That is you trying to do exactly what you're doing. The other side of it is that there are a lot of people who are living paycheck to paycheck, and it's because they cannot control their spending. Earlier this year, when everything was closed, and everything subsequently slowly started to actually reopen, I began to walk everywhere. I didn't want to take public transport because you can understand why. I walked for hours and hours and hours, and I was constantly surprised that I kept on hearing on the news and had seen that tons of people had been fired, didn't have a job, didn't have enough money to pay their rent. And lo and behold, walking by clothing stores, there was a line going down the street. And I would ask myself, where are you going? What event are you going to? Why are you buying new clothes? You survived for 5 months with the same clothes that you had before. Why do you need new clothes? I keep hoping that the events of this year had kind of turned a light on the people's heads and they simply went, oh, I don't need an excess. I don't need tons of these things. whatever, that's kind of a different discussion and topic altogether. And I'm going to be completely frank. If this year didn't shock you into getting your almost cursed, into getting your SH together, now is the time. This was, you must have heard saving money for a rainy day. It was in tons of TV shows when I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure it's on TV shows now, even though I don't watch TV as much. It's usually like YouTube and Netflix. But everyone knows the entire phrase. I told you before in another video that there was a survey that was done where they were asking people within the States, if you had to come up with $300 for an emergency, could you do it? Something like 60-70% said no. My mind went to, imagine if you raise that, could you come up with 1,000? That's a very big problem. I grew up in a world, and I had many friends growing up, and I even know some people right now who refuse to save, who don't want to save, who think that investing is something that starts when you're 60, so that when you're 65, you can retire. It doesn't make any sense. So I knew and know a lot of people who were so heavily affected by this year that I think it caused a bit of a mental breakdown. And that's not me joking. And I'm sure my friends and people that I know were not the only ones. It's because everyone continued thinking that they could live in excess. And one of my major worries is if there are already people, it's Christmas time at the time of me making this video. The lines I've seen walking by stores, the videos, I watch videos, I can't really travel, so I'm watching videos of people in other countries and other cities and other places. And the amount of people in the streets in London, and I mean hundreds if not thousands of people buying up. There's no need to buy all of these things. Okay, I'm just gonna continue moving forward. The idea for this video is that if you have not been shocked enough by this year, please get it together. I have friends who have lost their jobs, have lost where they were living. And the sad part is they don't even, the word isn't apply. They don't meet the requirements for like a no job supplement. Why can't I have a whole bunch of words in my head and I'm trying to push them all together? Job seekers allowance and things like that. Basically, unemployment would be the, unemployment check. They're not eligible for it, and some of them aren't even eligible to get like food stamps and other like food programs like that, which I think is absolutely insane. And a large part of it has to do with the fact that no one is saving money. No one. It's the weirdest thing in the entire world, and I don't know why people think that they can go on living like this. And I've seen the spending habits of people during this year, and it's only gotten worse. I've come into contact with people who don't have jobs, none. They have no job, and they have this much money in their bank account, and they spend as much as they can to go shopping, to go thrift this, to go do that. And I'm like, you don't have a job. Like, you should be saving onto all that money. And then a lot of times when you tell people, I'm not sure if it's telling them the truth, but backlash happens and you don't hear from them for a couple of months, which is kind of the situation that I'm going through right now. Understand, when governments mess up and they don't supply what they told you before that they would supply you during a time of crisis, they will lie to you. Now, this isn't that kind of video. When crazy things happen within the economy, government leaders around the world make sure to tell their people, you have to spend your money, because when you spend your money, the economy gets lifted up again. There's a problem when over the course of a year, you send one check for $1,200 and another check for $600. That does nothing for nobody if your rent is $1,500. If your electricity, your light, your gas, and the food, and your transport, if you still do have a job, comes out to around $500. That's $2,000. It does absolutely nothing. I remember seeing it as a kid. I don't know if I can even say it in the video because of the algorithm, but I remember in 2001, when I was a little kid, what happened And world leaders came forward and told everyone, after they sent out a stimulus check, hey, you need to go out and spend that check to get the economy going back up. You right now, you need to make sure that you are saving, you're putting money away, you're not buying frivolous things. I don't care if it is Christmas. What in the world is going on in people's heads that they have not realized the severity of all of this? A lot of those jobs that left and disappeared are not coming back. I don't know if it's simply people in denial, thinking that things are going to get better. Things were already bad before. You must have seen news programs and things like that before. Or even those, they have really, those TV shows about like poverty and stuff like that. And they've shown parents with 2 or 3 kids and they sit there going, well, I wanted my kids to have Christmas presents. So I used my credit card and I spent $1,500 to go buy them gifts. The kids were 2, 6, and 7. In a year and a half, they won't even remember that they got these toys. Let your kids know and understand, you may hate mommy or daddy this year, but that's just how it's going to be. We have to eat. I have to start saving additional money. And even if you're single, it's the same exact thing. What is this need or desire to get rid of your money so fast? I can't imagine a situation where I lost my job or my sources of income and my first thing is, I think I'm going to go shopping. I think I'm going to make sure I buy tons of things, of extra things that I already have of. It's just very, very weird. The entire system, not sure if you've caught on to this yet. This is not a joke. The system is built and created to keep you poor. When you don't have any money, when you don't save, you get depressed. The thing that stops your depression is going to work, which also makes you depressed, and at the end of the week receiving a piece of paper or direct deposit that is a paycheck. Because you're so depressed, you're told by advertisements everywhere you go, you have to buy things to be happy. Why do you think whenever you look at an ad, it's never sad people? It's beautiful, gorgeous people who are having fun. They're on beaches and they're telling you, if you buy this, you'll get the girl. If you buy this, you'll be popular. Look at the ads when you walk by them. They're all exactly the same. It's different items, different colors, but they all have the exact same thing. I even saw one a couple of days ago. They were advertising chocolate and there was like a woman with like eating, and I'm like, what is... The entire point is that you are made to be caught in this loop. And a lot of people have stumbled directly into it, and you keep accelerating because it gets to the point where you realize not only are you actually caught up in this system, but you make sure that you get caught up into it even further by taking out debt. You get these credit cards and go and buy things that you don't need. This is why I had a video earlier this year where I told you, sell this, and this was even before 19 happened. Sell the stuff in your house that you do not need. Get rid of it. Take that money, build an emergency fund. This was a pretty big year for an emergency fund. Imagine if years ago, and I'm telling you this now so that 10 years from now we don't have to have the same conversation. If 10 years ago you had started an emergency fund, started saving money, 80% of the frivolous things that you would have purchased, you put that money away. This year happens. Imagine you lose your job. Guess what? You have about 28 months worth of rent inside of an account because you've been saving so much. Please, for the love of everything good, save your money, start an emergency fund. If you happen to be in the situation where you are blessed enough to still have a job, save your money. I know a couple of people who lost their jobs and were spending so much, managed to be lucky enough to get new jobs, and they're still spending. And there's only so many times you can say something to someone before you kind of become naggy. Like I'm sure you've been there. You may have a friend who means well, and they say something to you, but the 5th time you hear it, you're like, okay. So I take it that the people I know are adults and they can make their own life choices, as it were, but it bothers me so much. You know that even before this year, around 2017, 2018, it was predicted that millennials, People in the late 20s, early 30s, by the time they got to their 60s, they would never, ever be able to retire. Never, ever. No retirement in sight. People who are in their 50s now because they aren't saving are probably never, ever, ever, ever going to be able to retire. Can you imagine working until you're 85 or until you drop? It does not sound nice at all. This is once again why the channel is created, to get people of all ages to really understand you have to do something right now. If this year was hard, do not assume that on the 1st of next year that everything is going to disappear, everything opens back up, and that everything is going to be cool and amazing once again and life will go back to normal. It is not going to happen. So, we'll have this discussion again. I mentioned this on the other channel, and I will also do it here as well, just to have two different perspectives on it, or rather two different things, because I think it's different viewerships between the channels. When the cryptocurrency market has continued going up, because it's been going up for a while at this point, we're going to have a discussion as to if you cash out of the market, what to do with that money, how to start buying real estate, how to secure passive income investing in some sort of way, because I refuse for people who are watching my channel to claim ignorance or say that they simply didn't know or they had no idea that things were this bad. Stop buying things you don't need. I purchased over the course of this year maybe around 20 pieces of art, and I almost felt, what's the word? Not remorseful. Like, I almost felt bad in a certain way for having actually not saved as much as I possibly should have. You gotta get it together. There's no other way around that. The amount of people right now who are hungry, without homes, losing their homes is staggering. I did not think, and I'm sure a lot of other people didn't either, and this is probably exactly why we're in this situation. I did not think that we'd ever be in a situation like this or that it would be this bad. You can't assume that the job you have is always going to be your job, that the things you do, like life throws curveballs. And this year was like 35 curveballs hitting everybody in the face at once. Please do not repeat what you did before. Do not continuously spend. I know everyone has aspirations. I know everyone has things they want to do. I know everybody wants to just buy nice, beautiful, shiny things. You are going to hate yourself if you are close to retirement and you have $16,000 to your name and that's it, and you are incapable of retiring. It is going to destroy you mentally, so please start now. I think that's going to do it for this video, simply because I'm drained talking about it. I'm sad that there are people who I know who have no savings, no investment, and it's not because they have kids. It's simply because they lived a lifestyle that they thought they could live forever. People always think of the now, but it's never the future. No one, think of where you are right now in this very day, this very moment. Do you want to be in that exact same position in 5 years from now? Imagine the year 2025. Do you want to have the same amount of money or lack thereof in your bank account? Do you want to be living in the same place? Do you want to not have, I can't imagine having no savings. I'm definitely going to end it here. I do hope you all enjoyed or got something from it in some certain way. It had to be said because I just logically thought that this year would cause everyone to really straighten up, and no one did. Everyone kind of stayed in the exact same boat. And I think next year, 2021, is going to be very difficult for a lot of people. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.